Hey guys, welcome to another episode of BarkleyLakeBassin. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about the Texas rig. Why I'm so excited about this video is because I love the Texas rig. I used to just tie it on and go, but I've made it a little bit more methodical over the years. You're going to see when I get into tying it that I have a lot of sound quality to my Texas rig. I have a better hookup ratio with this Texas rig, and it creates a more weedless presentation or a less hangy presentation when it comes to my Texas rig. For those of you who've ever thrown one and you get your weight a foot away from the bait or the hook, and you get the hook down in between a couple rocks, it gets real hangy. Well, the way that I like to tie my Texas rig, not necessarily eliminates that, but it does improve it. So I'm going to get into it, I'm going to talk about it in depth, and I'm going to show you how to tie it. Okay guys, as you can see here, I've got my worm box here, and I'm going to show you a couple things in my worm box, but I've already got out everything that I need. Here you can see on my main line, I've got one of these online bobber stoppers. I'll show you the package towards the end of the video so that you can see what type I use. But this is the first thing you're going to put on your line. This line here is 15-pound test Sunline, or not Sunline, Seaguar Invis-X. This is the line that I like to use when it comes to tying my Texas rig. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this bobber stopper way up on my main line. The next thing I'm going to add is a 1/2 ounce weight. I've just got a regular plain Jane lead weight. I generally paint my lead weights a black or green pumpkin color when I'm tying on a Texas rig, or really for any rig that I'm going to be tying on with a weight, just because sometimes fish will react based on the color. By react, I just mean if it's not painted, sometimes the fish will not bite. Sometimes if it's painted, they'll bite. Sometimes if it's not, they won't bite. So after I've added my weight, you can see here I've got this little red glass bead, or clacker as some people like to call them. I'm going to add that to my line as well. And just drop it and let it fall a pretty good distance down my line. Now here's where the ultimate part of this Texas rig comes in. As you can see here, I've got a 4/0 VMC hook. Just a plain Jane offset hook. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tag end of my line and I'm going to insert it through the face of my hook. I'm going to pull probably about 8 to 12 inches of line in. Then I'm going to fold it over, and in my right hand, like when I was tying the snell knot in my past video, I'm going to grab it and make a loop. It's kind of tricky to do this with an offset hook, but with a little bit of practice you can get pretty good at it. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to wrap my fluorocarbon line around the shank of my hook roughly 5 times. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now I'm going to let go. And I'm going to take my tag in here. I know you guys can't really see this very well. And I'm going to pull it through the loop that I created earlier. In one of my past videos about the snell knot, I mentioned that you're supposed to take your line back through the loop that you make when you pull your tag in through your original loop. I actually was informed that I don't need to do that. It actually messes up the knot. But anyways, once I do that, I'm going to wet my line very carefully. And I'm just gently going to pull on my main line. I'm going to wet it again. Make sure it's cinched down good and tight. Then take my scissors here and cut my tag end off pretty short. Okay, now that my hook is tied, I'm going to pull my weight and clacker down. And then I'm going to pull my bobber stopper down roughly 2 to 3 inches away from my hook, as you can see here. And that is the finished product. A snell knot tied, Texas rig. Okay guys, now that I've talked to you about how I tie my Texas rig, I'm going to show you why I tie it this way. I talked earlier about having a sound quality to it when I tie this Texas rig. When you add this weight in this glass bead, if I shake it up and down here, I don't know if you guys can hear that very well, but that real light clacking noise, I'm going to hold you right up here next to the mic, but that real light clacking noise that you guys might be able to hear, I don't know if you will or not, but that real light clacking noise when you're dragging that bait along the bottom sort of resembles a crawfish along the bottom and some noises that they make. So there's that sound quality that's added to it. Now I'm going to tell you about the bobber stopper. The reason I use this bobber stopper is because all the time when I first started tying Texas rigs, my weight would be pretty good distance away from my hook here, and I'd pull on it and then my hook would fall. Well, it'd get lodged in between rocks and everything else, and it would get hung up pretty easily, and I'd have to break it off just about every single time. Well, with this bobber stopper slid part of the way down, it doesn't allow that weight to get very far from my hook. It just lets it sit close by. So now when I go to pull on it and drag on it, my weight doesn't get as far away, and therefore I don't have as many problems with hang-ups and having to break it off every time. Now this is why I call this the ultimate Texas rig. I told you I tie a snell knot when I tie this. There's a good reason why I tie this way. As you can see here, with my snell knot tied, when I pull down on my weight, see how it forces my hook upward? See, here's my hook, then it forces it up, forces it up, forces it up. Every single time without fail, it's going to force that hook upward. The big reason I like that is because if I've got a fish just coming along and I've got my bait like this, just dragging along, and the fish comes up and grabs it. Well, when I go to set the hook and I pull on my weight, it's going to shove that hook up into the roof of the fish's mouth, therefore increasing my hookup ratio and my hookup ability. That's why I call this the ultimate Texas rig, is because it allows me to have more confidence in the Texas rig, more confidence in my knot, and more confidence in my ability to catch fish tying it this way. Leave a comment down below. Tell me how you guys like to tie it. I want to know. I think it's important that we all know the strengths and weaknesses of each knot and how we use certain equipment when we tie on certain baits, and how we use certain knots when we tie on certain baits. I really want to know how you guys tie your Texas rigs, and I really want to know if you guys like mine. If you like my idea, go out and try it, test it out, see what you think about it, and leave a comment below and tell everybody how you do. And again, make sure you hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button down below. Make sure you keep updated on all my videos. I've not been uploading like I should be. I've tried to upload every single day, but that's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. And until next time, see you later on Barkley Lake Bassin.